Hello everyone. So we kind of just went through the Sumer story and everything during our stream over here. And we haven't watched the Collected Miscellany yet, so let's just watch it. Tighnari Lush Verger. I was kind of hoping they made one for Kale. Unfortunately, they did not yet, at least at the time of today. So maybe that'll be up later, because that'll be very interesting with the Fatui and everything, how Dainsleif describes it. But we do got it for Tighnari, so let's just get into it.
Compared to ferocious beasts, it's hard to imagine placid plants ever posing a serious threat to humans. But deep within the sprawling forest, where the vegetation grows unchecked,
yeah, they're kind of real beings, you know.
So never underestimate the rainforest, for life is a formidable force. If you're hoping to pass through the Avidia forest without incident, you would be wise to heed the stern warnings of the Forest Watcher.
I'll lead the way.
Alright. It looks cool. I love his design.
Tighnari believes that the best thing to do with knowledge is to utilize it effectively in everyday life.
Yeah, thank you. I like those people of the academia who sometimes do nothing.
The use of his dendrovision has helped him to both advance his research
questionable
and protect the rainforest.
If you play the main story, you know what I'm talking about.
To be an effective forest watcher requires a keen, observant pair of eyes. When Tighnari is in your party, the location of resources
that is actually so useful. I've been using that today as well,
making it easier to gather supplies. Tighnari's normal attack can combo up to 4 consecutive shots, dealing physical damage. With a charged attack, Tighnari executes a more precise, aimed shot.
I think you usually want to use this
damage.
after the elemental skill.
The shot has different effects depending on how long the charging lasts. At charge level 1, Tighnari fires a dendro-infused arrow that deals dendro damage.
Hyperblunt.
At charge level 2, Tighnari fires a wreath arrow that deals dendro damage. After hitting its target, several cluster bloom arrows are generated that will auto-target nearby enemies and deal further dendro damage. When the talent Keen Sight is unlocked, after Tighnari fires a wreath arrow, his elemental mastery will be increased for a limited time.
Oh!
Tighnari's
so it's a further increase
skill throws a
I didn't know
Vinyana
that.
Stormheart ahead of him that deals AoE dendro damage and creates a Vinyana Kanda field,
which I know also
strange
restores
illusions to taunt enemies and draw their fire.
And I also know that it restores your charge attack cooldown.
Also, Tighnari gains the Vinyana Suffusion effect that decreases the charging time of the next wreath arrow. This effect will dissipate once the duration ends, or after Tighnari has fired a certain number of wreath arrows.
Wait, really? You can use 3 of them? I had no idea. I thought you could only use 1. I've been using them this entire time.
When
then.
Tighnari unleashes his
I guess now we
elemental
can use 3.
burst, he harnesses the power of germination and fires 6 Tanglevine tendrils that automatically target enemies and deal dendro damage. After the Tanglevine tendrils hit their target, a second wave of tendrils is produced that also auto-target enemies and deal dendro damage. After studying the properties of a diverse range of plants, Tighnari gained a wealth of new insight into dendro-infused arrows. After unlocking the talent Scholarly Blade, for every point of elemental mastery Tighnari possesses, his charged attack and elemental burst damage are increased.
Automatically, okay, so he benefits from elemental mastery further. Aside from, already elemental reactions, which Dendro really
hikers
depends
and fierce
on
monsters
elemental
are
mastery.
constant troubles in the rainforest. An earnest, informative lecture is sufficient to deal with the former. But in the case of the latter, Tighnari shows no mercy.
Yeah.
During battle, Tighnari first uses his elemental skill to create a Vinyana Kanda field to taunt enemies and obtain the Vinyana Suffusion effect.
I had no idea it actually taunted enemies. I thought it was just like an AoE dendro.
From a safe vantage point, he can now quickly charge and fire wreath arrows to deal dendro damage to enemies. When energy is full, Tighnari unleashes his elemental burst, firing Tanglevine tendrils that pursue enemies. 2 waves of Tanglevines will home in on enemies to root out the problem at the source.
Root out, huh? Okay, this is what I'm excited for. Please, stuff about you, Dainsleif. Come on.
Even as I speak, strange events that I cannot comprehend are unfolding.
You cannot what now?
Fortunately for Tighnari, though he lacks knowledge of the full situation, his intuition has saved him from becoming entangled in it. In Tighnari's opinion, however profound and esoteric knowledge may be, it does not equal virtue. Elitism and deceit can lead to no good.
Yeah.
Ironically, The academia sages who manage knowledge neither comprehend the true meaning of knowledge, nor understand the yearnings of the human heart. Though Tighnari has rejected them several times, still their pleas come time after time to his door. Let's see just where exactly the path of stubbornness and ignorance will lead them in the future.
Ignorance. Events that you cannot comprehend. I don't want to spoil it too much because we're on day 1, but if you know the main story and if you know about the events, so I just want to say, like, why can't Dainsleif comprehend them? We know about the title of Bowkeeper, right? I have many questions, more than I already had. So, yeah. Events he cannot comprehend. Maybe because he himself isn't expecting it. I suppose, okay, let's suppose Bowkeeper has something to do with the Irminsul. And so now that we know the Dunderwarken, we know she's connected to the Irminsul. And maybe none of them can actually predict this. If you know what I mean, you know what I'm talking about. I have a theory that there's 4 acts to the Sumeru story. We know that, like they said it. It's gonna come from 3.0 to 3.2. Of course, in maybe like 3.1 will have no Archon stories, but I doubt that. So if we get 4 acts for just the Sumeru story, then what about the Traveler arc? Are they just gonna make it chapter 5, or are they gonna make it chapter 4? What do I mean by this? We know we've seen the trailers. It's been mentioned several times, kind of like the foreshadowing of the Torii burning the Irminsul tree down. If that really happens and it's not just some random thing, then with the Bowkeeper, if that's really connected to the Irminsul tree, really just stand around and do nothing. That's why I kind of feel like the Sumeru story, if it really ends up being related to the Torii and the Irminsul tree burning down, that Dainsleif would be involved. So that's why Act 4 will be kind of the Traveler story and the Sumeru story. But that is just speculation, so I really don't know. Hopefully, Chapter 3 provides us with more information on that, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one, and peace.